This
module or
conference
any,
will now be recorded.
you can just let me know. So we can start with Sagar. Sagar, do you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, hi. So I have total 7 years of experience in SAP MM, and currently I'm working in MM and Coupa. So total around 5 years I have experience in MM.
That's
Hello.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, Raja, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, this is Raja. I have around 12 years of experience, 2 years into domain and 10 years into SAP HSM.
Okay, that's great. All right, so I'll introduce myself. This is Jay. I have around 10 years of experience in EWM. Overall, I have 15 years of SAP experience. Started off with MM, and then since 2012, I am into EWM. Okay, so what are your expectations? I mean, are you guys working on an EWM project, or you're going to start working on an EWM project, or you just want to upskill yourself? Can you help me out there?
Yeah, I just want to move to EWM. Parallelly, EHSM and EWM. There are many projects in our company, so just want to give it.
Okay, Sagar, what about you?
Yes, same. I want to upgrade myself and move in EWM line, because currently I'm in Coupa, so it's not a SAP product. So I just want to move in basically in EWM.
Okay, all right, perfect. That makes sense. All right, so
Yeah.
give me 2 minutes. I will quickly pull out the demo deck and we will get started. Okay.
And Jay, hello.
Hello. Yeah, there was any question for me there?
Yes, yes. So basic expectation, can I tell you
Yeah,
what
yeah,
is my
please go.
expectation? Yeah. So basically, I want to learn end-to-end EWM, like integration part, basically, and after this course, I will be capable to give any interview, and what kind of support project and implementation project will work. So this kind of thing I want to learn. Yeah. Basically, in support projects, which kind of tickets it will raise, and any kind of enhancements in
Got
EWM
it.
sites. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So what is your level of experience in support versus implementation currently on MM side?
One implementation project in MM, and other is total support projects.
Okay. One implementation project and total support. All right. That is fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, I think that should be fine. So see, warehouse EWM, right? Generally, you are better off in a implementation project than in a support project. I know it's the other way around for other modules. Okay, but when it comes to EWM, you can you can go for a implementation project. That really helps. You learn a lot of things. You learn a lot of things quickly, and it's not going to be difficult because most of the companies are going to be transitioning from WM to EWM. Okay. So okay, let me let me share my screen. We'll get started. Okay, then probably I'll explain you why during the slide, I'll explain why you are better off in a WM implementation project rather than in a support project. And even in support project, like if you are looking for support project, I'm not saying that support project is bad, but it is just you'll have to go some extra mile. I mean, I can help you out with the interview questions and all, and on the type of tickets and everything, but it will be a slow journey for you, because see, the reason I'm saying that is you have good amount of support experience already, right? You have been working in support, so that is fine. But if you get into implementation, it will be a right time. You won't have too much support. You said you have 6 to 7 years of experience, right?
Yes, yes, correct.
Yeah. So yeah, it's better you look out for an implementation project now, because see, S4 HANA, everybody's implementing. Okay. Currently, the phase is that everybody's transitioning from S4 to EWM. Sorry, from ECC to S4, and that's why EWM it's kind of hot currently. Okay.
Okay, okay. Got it.
Yeah, all right. So let me know, guys, if you're able to see my screen. Are you able to see my screen now?
No, not no.
Okay, 1 minute. Okay, how about now?
Yes, I can see.
Yes, yes.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so we will start with a very, very basic introduction of EWM, right? 1 minute, let me get this out of the way. Yeah. Okay, so this is a slide that I generally cover during the first demo session. And this particular slide will give you an overview of what EWM is and what can you expect, what are the different deployment options which are available out there, and what deployment option we are going to work on. Okay. So this is what we have: introduction to EWM, its deployment options. I'll cover some integration as well when we talk about the deployment option, and then I'll just give you a brief idea about the EWM process. Okay. So guys, we already had warehouse management previously in SAP world, right? But still in 2006, SAP decided to come up with a whole new module, which is extended warehouse management. Now, see, it is a good thing that you are aspired towards learning SAP EWM, but it is very important to understand that why EWM came into picture. We had a very good product, warehouse management. It was already there. It was working since ages. But why did EWM came into existence? And EWM is currently, it's a hot skill in the market, but it has become a hot skill only recently. Like if you see, the product was introduced in 2006, but it did not get this much limelight till 2016, right? 2016, 2017 onwards. In the last 5 to 6 years, we are seeing that EWM uh, skills are really niche in the market, and everybody is looking to learn EWM because there's some great offering. Uh, some good companies are hiring a lot of EWM professionals. So why is it that now only EWM has become hot and not in 2006? So we will understand that as well as we go forward, right? So warehouse management was there, and warehouse management was widely used by almost all the companies, but there were some limitations. When we started implementing SAP, right, back in 1990s, at that time core was only MMSDFI, and then came WM, and slowly and steadily it was also part of the core module. But then there were some limitations with warehouse management. If you see, when WM was introduced, there was not much innovation happening around the field of robotics. Right now, if you see in today's world, everybody's talking about AI, everybody's talking about digital automation, everybody's talking about uh, RPA, robotic process automation. So there's a lot of innovation that has happened in the field of robotics after WM was introduced. If you would have thought, right, recently, if you are reading newspapers, Amazon has introduced some malls which are where there is no human working on it, right? Everybody is automated. So such kind of innovations were not there in 90s, and in 90s it was like nobody was even thinking that something of this sort is possible. So that is the reason why warehouse management comes with a lot of limitation, because it did not account for all this robotic automation that is going on around the world. So there is one word, right? ASRS, Automatic Storage Retrieval System. So this coin was coined in 2000s, uh, in that particular decade. So where we started having conveyor belts, we have robotic arms, where automatically the goods will be going in the conveyor belt. The robotic arm will pick it up and put it in the bin. So all those automations were not there. So that is the reason why SAP, when it saw that there are a lot of automations happening around them, and warehouse means it's not just that you uh, you just put your warehouse structure, right? Warehouse structure in the sense, like, let's say you have 2 floors of warehouse where you have different types of bins and all those stuffs. So it is not limited to that. WM is limited to that. You just pick it up and you put it, but how you are going to put it, what route you are going to take, whether there is any intermediate transfer that has to happen, whether there are any other warehouse operations that businesses are doing, all those things were not handled by WM at all. So for example, right, if you order something on Amazon and you have an option of gift wrap, right? Have you seen that?
Yes.
Yeah, let's be interactive, guys. Okay, I don't want this to be a one-way
Okay.
flow. Let's be interactive. So in an Amazon, when you order something, you will have an option of gift wrapping. So where do you think this gift wrapping is happening? It is happening in the warehouse, right? It's not that somebody is going to pick up your product and on the way they are going to gift wrap it. So this particular activity is happening in the warehouse. What I want you to do is, after this call, after we are done with this call, right? One very real-time experience. Try to go on Apple Online Store, right? AOS, and try to order an iPad. I mean, don't actually order it, but just try to go to the checkout screen. Okay. Now, in that iPad or an AirPod, you will have an option of engraving your initials. Okay, you can actually write whatever you want, like, let's say, uh, gift to Sagar or gift to Raja, right? Anything of that sort, you can write it out. So your iPads, AirPods, everything will be stored in a warehouse, but this is some additional offering which the business is doing. If you want to engrave it, you can engrave it and stuff like that. So all these operations which are happening in warehouse, there's no systematic way of doing it using just SAP WM. So that is the reason why SAP introduced SAP EWM, where apart from storage and receiving, right? So put away and picking, there are bunch of other activities that you can do. So what are those bunch of activities? That is something that I've listed down in the second point, right? You have task and resource management, you have HU management, you have MFS, you have labor management. Then in the third point, if you see, you have yard management, you have integration with transportation management. So all these things are something which is coming out of the box, and you can integrate it really well with EWM. So that is the reason why SAP have introduced EWM. So now when you go out and if you are asked anywhere, right, that why are people using EWM and why is WM not enough, then this is how you have to answer that: because of the robotic automation that was happening in the industry, and there was no systematic way of handling all those automations in warehouse management, and that is the reason why uh, EWM is coming into picture. So a very simple example is, Sagar, like you told, right? You are working on Coupa. So Coupa, it's a cloud-based system. And when
Yes.
SAP MM was introduced, right, there was no cloud. So what did SAP do? It bought Ariba, right, which is a competitor of Coupa. So that is
Correct.
what
Correct.
SAP, right? As the world around you evolves, it comes up with new products, right? So that is the reason why EWM has come into picture. Now, when EWM was introduced, they thought that WM and EWM will exist side by side without one replacing the other. But now EWM is a more specialized tailor product, right? And it is coming out of the box with S4. So it is going to replace WM very soon. And WM will then become lean warehouse or stock room management. This is a new module which is coming up in SAP, where WM, because it has limited operations, it will lose some of its functionality and be limited to stock room management for very small businesses. But other businesses will use EWM. Okay. Any questions till here?
Stockroom management, it's a WM.
It is part of WM, portion of WM. So see, there are some operations which can happen in WM. There are some operations which can happen in EWM. And earlier, WM and EWM existed side by side, right? But now EWM is coming within S4 itself, right? You don't have to take separate S4 license. Sorry, you don't have to take separate EWM license. So what they are doing is they are discontinuing WM, and if there are some companies, who are not even using all the functionalities which are there in WM, right? So such companies, if they start using EWM, it's a lost cause for them, right? It's a lot of, see, EWM, if you want to implement in the company, it's a capital investment, right? You need to add some support guys, you have to implement it, you need a hold together a new uh, division within the company who takes care of the warehouse, but their warehouse are not that big, and even if they use EWM, they won't be able to use it to its full capacity. So it does not make sense, the companies investing in EWM. So for them, they have come up with stockroom management. These are very small companies who are not using the core functionalities of WM also. For it is relevant for them. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So see, these are the deployment options that we have. Okay. Now I want you to focus towards the first part, decentralized EWM connected to ECC. So earlier, when in 2006, when EWM was introduced, it was not part of ECC core. It was part of an SCM box, supply chain management box. Okay. So your MM, SD, FI, all those modules were existing on one server, and you had EWM on the other server. Okay. There was no S4 HANA back then in 2006, right? So it was ECC, and then ECC was one box, EWM was other box, and then you have to integrate both of them. So that is how decentralized EWM was introduced. That is how the design of EWM was set up, right? And there were many versions that came for this particular deployment option, right? The latest one is EWM 9.5, and after EWM 9.5, they are not going to release any new versions. So EWM 9.5 is the last version that you are going to get, which will connect with ECC. Now, from 2016, 10 years after. So now you can come to this last part, embedded EWM. What is embedded EWM? So now when they introduced S4 HANA, they thought that no, EWM should not exist, away from the core, because this warehouse functionalities are part of the core. They are kind of the way the business have grown, right? It is no longer considered as a non-core module. It is considered as a core module. So that is the reason why EWM came into S4. So now there is no decentralized option. If you are buying S4, you can get a centralized option where your EWM is within the S4 HANA box itself, right? Any questions till here? Are you able to understand? Do you want me to explain any further for these two things?
No.
So, one question. So currently, uh, currently we are embedded EWM in S4HANA, right? So can we also implement a different box for EWM? Like we
Yes.
have multiple S4HANA systems.
Yes.
and we want to connect in single EWM. So how can it is possible?
Yes, that is a good thing. That is a good question. So I was coming to that. So if you see the middle thing here, right? Decentralized EWM
Okay.
connected. So for the scenario that you just explained, you have to go for decentralized EWM, which is connected to S4HANA. So it is similar to the one which is there on the left, but instead of ECC, it is S4. Okay, and your EWM, instead of being embedded, they will give you a separate system for EWM. So the use case for this, right? There are two use cases. One use case is, you are right, if you have multiple S4HANA and if you want to connect it, all of them you want to connect it to EWM, then you cannot have multiple, EWM in each and every S4 box. You can use for decentralized EWM in which all your S4HANA instances will interact with it. That is one use case. The other use case is, which SAP has told, right, that this particular embedded option is only there for small and medium scale industries. Okay, but if you are having a very sophisticated automatic storage retrieval system, right, then you have to go for decentralized version only. The reason for that is, you have a very sophisticated state of the art system, and that interacts with S4. But when that particular, due to any reason, right, XYZ reason, if there is any system issue or there is an issue in the integration, right, then the entire core functionalities go for a toss. So assume that you are having your warehouse and due to some issue, the queues are stuck and it is creating some load on the system. So this load is going to impact everything, your order booking, your purchase, your finance, all the modules it's going to impact. So what SAP says is that if you have state of the art ASRS system, then you go for this particular option where your S4HANA is decentralized, so that your core functionality it's not impacted. Now this is dependent on the volumes. Okay, if you have ASRS but your volumes are low, then you can still use embedded, it's fine. But if your volumes are huge, then you have to definitely go for decentralized only. So these are the two use cases where I will go for decentralized. If I'm having small and medium, then I will go for EWM embedded. Right, and this, like I told you, EWM 9.5 is the last version. Very soon it is going to be discontinued. Now the reason I told you, right, that why EWM skill has become hot in the market now only after 10 years, right, is because of this. ECC, they have stopped making enhancements here, right? They are not going to support this product very soon, EWM 9.5. And the world currently is moving from ECC to S4. There are so many system conversion objects that are going on. So everybody who is using WM are either going to move to EWM or they are going to move to stockroom management. Now the companies that move to stockroom management, they are very small, right? They don't attract employees. I mean, if you are looking for a very good salary hike, then obviously the small companies are not going to be in a position to give you, right? So the who are, and even who are having medium to medium complex to very complex warehouses, everybody will move to EWM, and they have so sophisticated system that they are ready to pay any amount for an EWM expertise so that their operations are not hindered, right? So that is the reason why EWM has suddenly become hot favorite in the market, because of companies going from or migrating from ECC to S4. So I believe till 2030 SAP has told that it is going to support ECC, which I feel it will be extended till 2040. Okay, based on uh, my experience. So the next 10 to 15 years, there are going to be companies who are going to migrate from ECC to S4, and this migration will be done in that time. So now is the time to pick up any of the modules which are, which will be benefited from the transitioning of ECC to S4. So one such module is EWM. There are other modules also like TM, transport management. So that is also a very hot favorite topic, which is, benefiting a lot because of companies migrating from ECC to S4. And TM and EWM, they are going to coexist side by side. They have recently SAP has introduced so many additional functionalities that in EWM, that an EWM consultant later on, if he wants to learn TM, he will be in a position to do it, because TM and EWM will go hand in hand. Once we, once this migration is done, right, sometime in 2030 or so, once this migration is done, if you are having EWM TM experience, it will be a very hot combination. Okay, I will come to that. Okay, why I'm talking about TM also, I will come to that. But any questions on this deployment options?
No.
Okay, so now I'll talk about integration. Okay, for a while. I'm going to, so till now, what we have done is, you know what is decentralized EWM, you know what is embedded EWM, right? So decentralized EWM is fine. Embedded EWM, it is there. In embedded EWM, again, there are two types of EWM. Okay, one is basic, one is advanced. So this is based on the functionality. Okay, like EWM SAP, like I told you, it is coming as a free license. If you buy S4, you get free license for EWM, which covers the basic functionality. But there are certain advanced functionalities also, which you have to pay to SAP in addition to the S4 license to use it. They are plug and play. Like today, if you are going with the standard basic functions, tomorrow you can pay them and activate the basic functions step by step. You don't have to do everything in one go. Okay, so what are those basic functions, advanced functions? I have a slide coming up after this. We will discuss in that. So this is your EWM integration. So this is kind of what was happening when things were with ECC. So you had ERP, you had EWM, you'll create your material, batch, customer, vendor, packing instruction, everything in ERP. And through remote function calls, things will be moving to EWM. So you create a material, you have to transfer that material to EWM system, okay, using QRST. So the transaction code is CFM1. These are the common interfaces which we have with the SCM box. So it's generally what we have is all this. There is one program transaction code, like I told you, CFM1. So the program for that will be running in background. So the moment a material is created, every 6 hours or 8 hours, or you can run that particular job on an ad hoc basis also, so that the material that is created in ERP will go to EWM. Okay, any doubts here?
No.
Okay. Now in decentralized S4, right? This is a decentralized S4. So you have an S4 system, right? Now, yeah, one very important thing. If you see my two slides, right? I am calling it ERP, right? On the left side, it is ERP, and for decentralized EWM with ECC. And in the next slide also, when I'm talking about S4, the left side is ERP only. So this is one very important thing that you have to understand, that whenever you are into client meetings or whenever you are going giving any interviews, right, you have to use the term ERP. Now that ERP can be S4 or it can be ECC. Okay, so our comparison will be with ERP. It won't be with S4 or ECC. Okay, so this is one very important terminology. So see, when you are learning EWM, right, there are two things you have to learn. You have to learn the process, and second thing, you have to learn how to speak for that process. See, I will show you how things are done in EWM, right? Whenever we are doing a session, my first session, generally 15-20 minutes is when I do theory, and then we do practical. But when we do theory, it is very important that you know and understand the language that I'm speaking, because that is the same language that I expect you to speak in the interview, right? You cannot speak, or you cannot come up with your own language there, because see, if you do it this way, right, and when you give an interview, you won't be giving an interview as a fresher. Okay, you can easily show 3.5 years of experience in EWM if you are going through my sessions, right, and if you're speaking the language that I speak or I tell you to speak. So that plays a very important role on the perception. The first impression that gets created is that, okay, he knows what he's talking about. So pay attention to the language also that we are using. Okay, all this functionality is like ASRS, the evolution, why EWM. So your answers have to be sophisticated enough and in technical terms purely, not what we get on Google, right? That makes sense, guys?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so when it comes to S4, you can see that there is no SIF except for packing instructions. Okay, and when it comes to decentralized S4, packing instructions is something that we don't use because we have something called as packaging specifications, and we can handle it in EWM also. So this particular piece right here, if you want it to have it in ECC, fine, but we have an option of doing it in EWM also, which we will see. Okay, you don't have to worry what is packaging specification, stuff like that now. But what you have to understand is that if earlier in ECC, when we were moving, the ERP was ECC, and we were moving data from ECC to EWM 9.5. At that time, we were using RFC, remote function calls were happening. But the moment we move to S4 and the ERP is S4, then I am having IDOCs. So material gets created, and automatically at the back end, the system is going to create an IDOC. You have background jobs for processing the IDOC, so that your all the material batch classification, whatever you are creating, that goes and flows to EWM real time. Not real time, but close to real time. Because earlier what was happening, you let's say you are having a daily job, daily 10 p.m. your job is going to run, and it is going to transfer the material which is created in ECC to EWM. So you create it just 5 minutes after the run, and then you have to wait for the entire day. But with this, you can get it done in around 30-35 minutes, right? You create a material, you have a continuous job, the IDOC gets generated instantly. You have a continuous job that runs every 15 minutes or 30 minutes, that processes the IDOC, sends it to EWM. In EWM side, you have a continuous job that is going to process that particular IDOC. So it is more seamless, right? I mean, it is not seamless, but it is better to what we had for uh, ECC to EWM 9.5. And now the last part is about embedded, right? So for embedded, you don't have to do any of this thoughts. Okay, for material batch classification, customer, vendor, there is no interfaces needed because the box is embedded. You create a material and it's there in EWM. That's it. You don't have to worry about anything else. Okay, but your inbound, right, integration in embedded you have to do for your transactional data. So this integration you have to do even in ECC as well as in decentralized, but I'm covering it here as part of embedded because this is the only integration that you will be doing. Okay, so when an inbound delivery gets created in S4, right, which is on the left side, you are creating an inbound delivery in S4, and if you see on the right side, that inbound delivery, whatever is there in S4, it gets distributed to EWM and creates a inbound delivery notification. This inbound delivery notification then becomes inbound delivery in EWM. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is, let's say you are creating an inbound delivery in S4, right? So it gets stored in some table, right? EKES or some table will be there in which your inbound delivery will be getting stored, right? So this inbound delivery, exact replica of S4, will move to EWM and it will be called as inbound delivery notification. Now, based on this inbound delivery notification, and inbound delivery in EWM will be created. So this inbound delivery that gets created in EWM will have some additional data points to what the system in ECC had. For example, it will have warehouse process type. It will, it will have some other data points through which it will come to know, okay, what next I have to do in EWM, right? Any questions here? Are you getting it? Or do you want me to explain it again? Guys?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, clear.
Okay. So similarly, in outbound delivery, we have something called as outbound request, and that outbound request gets created to outbound delivery order, and that outbound delivery order gets created to outbound delivery. Now, why we have outbound delivery order and outbound delivery, two things in EWM for outbound process, all those things we will see later. Okay, this is just a very high level overview, And all I want to convey through this particular slide is your inbound delivery and outbound delivery have to flow to EWM. That's all. Okay, so don't worry about all the other technicalities. We are going to see all these things in detail. Similarly, whenever you do any posting change, like storage location to storage location transfer, right? So all those things also will create a delivery in S4, and that delivery also will flow to EWM. Okay, how will it flow? What configurations needed? All those things we will cover in the later slide. Don't worry about it. Okay, so this is the slide that I wanted to talk about. Okay, this is your inbound EWM different processes, whatever you have. So this is your course content, whatever you are seeing in front of you, that is your course content. Now, I told you, right, embedded EWM has two things, basic and advanced. And it is very important before you go to an interview that you know what is coming basic, what is advanced. The reason being, it is expected to know that, okay? Because let's say client is transitioning from ECC to EWM, you show that, see, these are the functionalities. He says, okay, great, I'm going to use it. But then later on, you come to know that it is going to come at an additional cost. So it's a big setback, right? So it is very important that you know what is coming as basic, what is coming as advanced. Okay. So inbound process. Inbound process has goods receipt. So this is a very standard functionality which is there in WM also, that you create an inbound delivery and then you will be in a position to put away that particular product in the final bin. Okay. Now the next comes put away optimization. So what is put away optimization? Now put away is nothing but you do the goods receipt and put it in the final bin. But what do you mean by put away optimization? So EWM comes with a very powerful put away optimization functionality. Assume that you are in a warehouse, right? And your warehouse is of 4 floors. So a material comes in. Now, do you expect that, and an inbound delivery comes in and you are supposed to do the final put away. There are 4 products, each on different floors. So do you expect one person to do all these things, like he will go pick up the product, go to the lift, go to the first floor, put it in the first floor wherever its places, and again come back, again pick the second one, go there, and put it on the second floor, again he will come and put it on the third floor? No, right? That is not optimization, like one person doing it. Now suppose you have 4 guys who are doing it, right? So one person will come, he will go to the first floor, the other person is going to go to the second floor, the other person is going to the third floor, and the fourth one is going to go on the fourth floor. This sounds better, but that is not warehouse work, because you cannot expect one person to know all the 4 floors where exactly the material is going to lie, right? So generally what happens in EWM, you will have guys who are working on each floor. That is how you would have seen in the malls where you go for shopping, right? Central or anywhere. Men's section, gents section, there are different guys who are working there. If you ask somebody, some questions on the gents section, that do you have another piece for this, then they'll say, please check with with someone who works on the gents section, right? So that is how even in real time warehouse will work. They will have fixed labor or fixed resources who are working on each floors. So EWM is so powerful that when it knows that this particular product is going to go on the 4th floor, it will automatically create 3 warehouse tasks. One, to move it from the truck or wherever to the staging area near the lift. Then somebody will be operating the lift. He will pick it up and put it to the designated staging area on the 2nd or 3rd floor. And then that particular person who is there on the 3rd floor, right, who works there, will pick it up from the staging area near the lift on the 3rd floor and put it in the final bin. So this kind of optimization is available out of the box for use, and WM did not have anything close to that. So that is why this is a put away optimization. Now this can be done in picking also, right? In picking also you can have this particular functionality used. The other functionality, so this particular functionality is called LOSC, layout oriented storage control. So if you have any specific warehouse layout, right, where you want your material to flow through a particular layout, so it can manage it. Okay, so that is how things work. Okay, any questions till here?
No, Jamie.
No.
No.
Okay. Then we also have in put away optimization something called as POSC, process oriented storage control. So let's say you are getting the goods and you are supposed to do some processes on it. So you cannot get that done in WM because there was no added functionality. Now this is a very important optimization tool as well, and it is generally used by almost all the warehouses. The reason being very simple, right? Assume that you are getting an inbound delivery and all the materials are put in a single box. Now you are not going to just pick that box and put it in your final bin. You are going to, you might want to take it out. So you might want to deconsolidate it. You might want to pack it in your own way so that it is easier for you to pick it up when you have sales orders. So all those operations in WM, you have to do it outside of SAP. But all this deconsolidation packing functions, right, you can do it using something called as POSC, process oriented storage control, within SAP, within SAP EWM. Okay. Then we also have yard management. So yard management is like, you here, this is again, you have to pay for this yard management. It's a license. When I say you, it means your client, okay, not you guys. So it's an added functionality. It is part of advanced EWM. And here what you can do is, generally, if we don't use yard management, then what we will do, we will be in a position to track the inbound delivery when it reaches the warehouse door. But if you implement yard management, you will be in a position to use, track the inbound delivery as soon as it reaches the gate. So gate acts as a checkpoint. The truck becomes TU, transportation unit, and that TU then goes from the checkpoint to the parking area. Door gets determined, it goes to that door, you do the unloading, then you ask that TU to, uh, unloading is complete, so that it will go again to the parking space, and then it will go to the checkpoint, and finally you log that particular TU out. So all these activities, if you want, yard management is an option. Now I told you that it integrates really well with transport management. So if you, or if your client has TM in scope, right, yard management is amazing. I mean, there are a lot of things that you can do with yard management. The TU which you create manually will actually come from TM. In TM, you have something called as freight order. So that freight order will become the TU. And then that is how your TM and EWM integration is going to work. So that is why I told you that TM plus EWM is going to be really hot skill 5 or 6 years down the line. Once everybody have moved to EWM and they want to now, experience the advanced functionalities. Next is quality inspection. So earlier, this is a very new functionality which SAP has developed, and it is available again out of the box. So they have something called as QIE, quality inspection engine. Okay. And we have to integrate with the QM team so that once the inbound delivery comes, first the QI engine will run. It will create the lots or samples depending on the configurations done at the QM side, and you will be in a position to do the quality inspection. Because see, the reason why this has been introduced is quality generally takes place in the warehouse only, right? It is not that your truck will go to a quality department and quality people will come in, and then they will say, okay, yeah, quality is fine, and then you start the unloading. No, it's not like that, right? You first unload, then you do the quality check, and all these things is happening physically in the warehouse. So to bring those operations into warehouse, they have developed QI, quality inspection engine. So this is also an added functionality which was not there in WM. Then you have slotting rearrangement. Okay, so this is kind of optimization. This is not a very important topic currently because nobody is using it that much. So we will see it when we cover it. Okay, I'll skip this particular for now. Then we comes to outbound process. Outbound process, we have goods issue, wave management, packing, value added services, replenishment, and cross stocking. So out of this, goods issue, packing, replenishment is pretty self-explanatory. Wave management is something which comes, when you would have seen on Amazon, right? That you try to order a product, it will say if you deliver now, it will be delivered within 2:30 to 4 or some time they will give you. And then if you miss that, right, if you miss the cutoff for that, then it will go to the next day or next time slot, whatever is available. So that is nothing but wave management. In wave management, what you do, you collect all the outbound delivery orders till 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. depending on the business requirement, and then you release all those outbound delivery orders to your resources so that they will start packing. So basically, you don't, as long as your, as soon as your delivery gets created, you do not ask to start packing. You hold those deliveries and then you release them in waves. That is why it is called wave management. So there are a lot of functionalities associated with wave management. We have WOCR, that is warehouse management order creation, warehouse order creation rules. There are additional filters available. It's a big topic, right? And then you have value added service. Value added service is nothing but like an example I give you of the gift pack, right? That you want to pick it up, but when you want to do the gift packing also. So all these things are outbound processes. Then comes material handling. So HUs, RF barcoding, right? Handling units is a very new concept. So any box or pallet that is used, you can refer it to as HU. You have RF barcoding. So there is an RF interface also, resource management and internal processes. So internal processes means you are transferring material from one bin to another bin. So all these things are called material handling. They are coming out of the box. Material flow system is ASRS, automatic storage retrieval system. Okay. So MFS is something that I will cover only in theory. I will show you how you can integrate ASRS. They integrate with the help of Telegram technology. So all those things I will talk about, but this particular topic will only be in theory because I cannot have a conveyor belt and integrate it with our EWM and show you stuffs, right? But if you if you are to do it in your immediate project or something, don't worry, definitely there will be someone expert in MFS there. But even if it's not there, you will be in a position to manage based on the theory that I teach you. So don't worry about it. And it is not used very extensively. Okay, it is only used by very big companies, those who are having 3PLs or warehouses. But the most small and medium and companies that are moving to EWM, they won't be using MFS. Then warehouse planning. So this is more of a report, except for the labor management. Labor management is where you are in a position to calculate the costs of direct labor, indirect labor, all those things. So that also we will cover. And the other three things are the very powerful reports that you get: warehouse monitor, task management, delivery monitoring. WM had a very limited reporting functionality. Okay, even SAP, if you talk about MM, anything, right? The reporting is not that great. There are very less reports that you can get which will cater to all the needs. But warehouse monitor is a very powerful report. It will cater to almost all the needs of your clients. If you want to track stock, if you want to track orders, if you want to track warehouse tasks, if you want to track deliveries, everything, this is your single stop shop warehouse monitor. You won't need more than this. We will be covering warehouse monitor and we will be using it very extensively in the sessions, right? And the last is physical inventory. So that is periodic, cycle and continuous, right? You get three types of physical inventory check. So what is physical inventory check? Is something, there will be some inventory misbalances. Okay, it is bound to happen. So system might show that there is 10 stock, but in reality there is only 9. System might show that in this particular bin 10 units are there, but physically 5 units might be in this bin, 5 units might be in other bin, right? So all those things you can correct using physical inventory. Okay, so you have periodic, cycle counting and continuous inventory. We will be covering all the three in our session. So this is basically your course content. Any questions here?
Yes, I have
I'm
one question.
fine.
So,
See ya.
Yeah, we can move on.
introduction is in a left hand side. You mentioned basic and advanced. So this is the all things are comes under embedded or both decentralized and embedded.
So decentralized, it's basic plus embedded. Like if you are buying decentralized, you don't have basic plus embedded because you are paying money for it, right?
Okay.
Okay, so it will come with all the functions. But embedded, it comes free of cost, right? When you pay for S4 license, you get free of cost, but you don't get
Hmm.
all the functionalities free of cost. So whatever are in black, you get free of cost. Whatever is mentioned in white, there is an additional licensing fee that the client has to pay. Okay.
Okay.
Functionality wise, everything is available. Whatever is available
Okay.
in
So
decentralized, available in embedded also.
okay. Okay. So in decentralized, anything is different. Like some more topics are there.
Functionality wise, no more topics. The only difference will be the integration that I covered here, right? This
Okay, so
integration will,
integration part you will also cover.
yes, yes, integration also we will cover that. I will show you how CFM1 and CFM2 how you have to run. So I will cover this also, and this will directly create IDOCs. Okay, so we have to create a distribution model that I will show you how you have to create a distribution model. But this IDOCs and everything are going to get created out of the box. Like the moment you save the material, we have user exit that will create the IDOC for you.
Okay, for
Okay,
decentralized.
for
So
decentralized.
what is the? I'm just confused. Can you go back the previous slide?
Hmm?
This is for ECC to EWM transfer, right? Old
Yes.
ECC to
Yes, Ewm 9.5.
okay, and next one is S4 HANA to EWM transfer, right?
Yes, so this is for S4 system to decentralize EWM on S4 HANA. Both are S4 HANA, but your system is decentralized. So this is for the scenario that we discussed, right? That if there are multiple S4s,
Okay.
then multiple systems can connect with a single EWM.
Right.
So you have to go for decentralized. And then the other use case that we talked about was you have a lot of warehouse operations, and you don't want your core to be impacted if your warehouse systems are experiencing problems.
Okay. So in
Okay.
that case, SIF is not required, right, for master
Yes.
data transfer.
Yes. For S4 HANA, SIF is not required.
Okay. And for transaction data,
Transaction data, everything remains the same for everything.
okay,
Right,
okay.
embedded or decentralized or this thing, everything it has to get distributed. Okay. So actually, I
And
was expecting. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
how it's transfer as for HANA to EWM in decentralized transaction data?
Through RFC. Through RFC.
Okay, through RFC. Okay.
Through RFC. It remains the same. Transaction remains the same throughout. In ECC to EWM 9.5, it was through RFC. In S4 HANA system to decentralized, it is through RFC. In embedded also, it is through RFC.
Okay.
Now, guys, I'm just one thing. Why are you not asking me a question that if it is embedded, why you have to integrate? That's a fair question, right?
Yes, 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 correct.
So I was expecting this, but anyways, I'll answer you. Okay, that if it is S4 to EWM, why you still need to integrate it? Because of the structure, right? If you see this, historically ECC was EWM was developed to exist as a separate system, and when they have moved it to embedded, they also have a plan, right? So see what SAP promises to the business, right? You use EWM, your operations will improve, your business will grow. Okay, that is what the pitch is for anything, not only for EWM, for anything. Why do companies implement ECC? Right, to grow. You will be in a position to manage your company better, your operations will get optimized, and you will be able to focus more on core functionalities. So in turn your business is going to grow. So when the business grows, right, it also means your warehouse will grow. So today you might not have this ARS, this sophisticated state of the art robotic automation or whatever we discussed, but tomorrow you can have it, right? So if tomorrow you want to move from embedded S4 HANA to decentralized S4 HANA, it is possible. Okay. So that is the reason why core structure and everything SAP has not changed. The way it is there for EWM 9.5, the same way it is for decentralized S4 HANA, and the same way it is for uh, embedded EWM. Okay, the core structure has remained unchanged. So that is the why in embedded also you need QRFC to transfer the data. So what QRFC you need? Because you just have a single system, right? So what SAP does is it creates a logical system which is S4. Then it creates a dummy system which is EWM. It creates a dummy RFC, which receives the call from S4, and again it puts the response also, it points it back to the S4. So that is how they do the integration. This we will be covering. Don't worry about it. We will be covering what is dummy RFC, what is business system, all those things we are going to cover in our session. So you don't have to worry about it. But what you have to understand from this question is that in the delivery integration is needed, because tomorrow, and this is how we do, we go with embedded, we implement the basic functions, but there is no guarantee that your operations won't expand in future. Their operations are bound to expand in future. That's what SAP says. You implement SAP, your business will grow. Business grows, warehouse grows. Warehouse grows. There are scopes of improvement. You might not have ASRS today. Tomorrow you might have it. So if you want to move the migration, right, what you have to do, whatever dummy system you have created, you replace it with the existing system, so that all your RFCs and everything will start pointing to the new decentralized S4HANA that you are implementing. Yes, it's not something that happens overnight. It will be a 4 to 6 months project, right? Where basis will come up with that system, and then you as EWM consultants will verify whether all the business processes which are working in production are also working in this new system, and then you do the cutover. If you are having 3 or 4 warehouses, you will go one warehouse at a time, right? So yes, that is possible. So that is the reason why in embedded also you have to, there are some integration steps that you have to do. And that is the reason why in embedded also the transaction data, still there is some integration steps that we have to learn. Got it? Any doubts?
No, no, thank you. And so all topics we are cover with practical, right?
Yes, except for MFS, like I told you.
Yeah, yeah.
RF also we will cover. RF also we have a basic out of the box app through which we can, I can show you that, see, this is how your RF guns will be working in real time.
RF means?
RF means radio frequency. So you have those scanners. Okay, if you go to any warehouse or if you see any warehouse video as well, there are scanners which will read the barcode, and automatically
Okay, okay,
information pertaining to that will come up.
okay, okay.
Okay, so we will cover everything, and yeah, your in-depth topics will be more than this. Okay, this is a very high level deck, right? So we will be covering organization structure in detail, where I show you storage type, storage section, storage bin. So all those sub points I have not included in this slide, but you will be taught organization structure, then you will be taught the integration, and then the standard goods receipt. Then we will do put away optimization. So put away optimization, like I told you, there are something called POSC, LOSC, process oriented storage control, layout oriented storage control. So that we will do. We will do yard management, we will do quality inspection, we will do wave management, value added services, cross docking, everything. Okay, whatever is there in EWM, what all functionalities are there on the screen, including its sub functionality, we will be doing. So this also includes put away strategies, picking strategies, all those things we will cover.
So do you have any list of topics which you will cover?
So high level, whatever you are seeing in the slide, that's it.
Okay, okay,
Okay, because these are the
okay,
basic functions, right? All these functions are there in EWM, and there is nothing out of this.
okay, okay.
Okay, yeah, sub functions you might not see here. Sub these things that, okay, inside this what all is there, inside this what all is there. That I can share it with you on day one. That is not an issue. But all these things we will definitely cover. The main part is the integration. EWM integrates with so many modules, right? You have to do EWM integration, you have to do EWM, you have to do EWM. I will also show you production integration. Okay, production also integrates with EWM. So that I will show you. All this 4 modules integration I will show you, and I will show you how to do EWM integration if you have that into picture sometimes, right? So I will show you, see, this is the TU, how I'm creating manually, but in reality, this will come from freight order, like that I will show you.
Okay. So,
Okay.
okay. So all servers and everything we need for this,
Yes, so
like,
that you can reach out to Subbu.
hmm,
Servers and all is something which is there. Okay, 2020 server is there. We can work on that.
okay, okay. So
S4
S4
HANA,
and EWM both, right?
we will have embedded EWM.
Okay, embedded. And if we want to learn decentralized, then
So if you want to learn decentralized, then see there is no difference, right? Firstly, okay,
yes,
between
yes, yes.
the functionalities, everything remains the same. Only the integration steps are different. So it really doesn't matter whether you are learning embedded or decentralized. If you are running if you are learning EWM 9.5, then that is obviously an issue because
No, no. For decentralized, we can see na master data transfer, but in embedded, it's not possible.
yes, it is not possible to do it, but the steps remain the same because you are still creating the integration, right? For transactional data.
Yeah, transaction data we can see, but material master, vendor master, BP.
Yes, so you guys are interested in decentralized or embedded?
Uh, I think decentralized. I'm interested in decentralized.
Okay, then that we will have to check with Subbu, okay, whether we have that server or not. But embedded one
Okay,
is the server, okay, that I'm using, and we can use the same server. But
okay,
frankly
okay.
speaking, right, most of the companies are going for embedded only because see, you have to understand, right? When I told you in the first session that why EWM is very hot these days, because people are
Hmm.
moving from ECC to S4. Okay, so they are using
Right, right.
warehouse management, and from warehouse management they want to move to EWM. Already they are paying, right, for ECC to S4 migration. It's a big project. It's not a small project for any company to this landscape transition. It's a huge project. So they don't want to go to decentralized. They want to go for embedded only because their cost is less. And most of these big companies, right, who like I told you, right, who are using this decentralized, so they will use decentralized only if this material flow system, MFS, right, the one that I have highlighted here, if they are using this, then
Okay,
only they will be using decentralized. Otherwise they are going to go for embedded only. So my suggestion will be that learn embedded because you will be in a position to relate when you go into the project. Because of embedded, the market market demand of EWM has gone high.
okay, okay. So, like integration model and all, you will explain,
Yeah, yeah, we have
like
to do everything. See, only
material
thing that you
integration.
won't be able to see
Yeah.
is the iDocs. That's it.
Okay,
Only
okay,
this
okay.
iDoc you won't be able to see. Otherwise, integration model, like I told you, right? Even I asked, right, that there should be a question that why embedded EWM integration steps are needed. So because you have to create business system, you have to create all these things, right? Dummy RFC and all these things for embedded also. So everything is there. You have to do everything. I mean, the steps remain the same, whether it is embedded or decentralized. Integration steps will always remain the same.
Okay.
It's just that you will have more number of distribution models. So when we generate distribution models for embedded, there will be around 5 or 6 distribution models. There you will see around 10 or 11 distribution models. That's it. But the process of generating distribution models remains the same.
Okay.
Okay. So this
And
is my
how much time it will take around for entire course?
see. It takes between 30 to 35 hours. Okay, end to end, everything.
6 hours. Okay.
Yeah,
So
35 hours.
35 hours. Okay. So daily you will teach 1 hour. And what's the
Um,
class time
it
and all
depends.
things?
So I prefer my students to keep 1.5 hours, right? We can go for 1.5 hours. We can complete in 1 hour also, depending on the topic, which we can, which I can always inform you beforehand that, yeah, today, tomorrow, please plan for 1.5 hour. And I can also inform you, yes, tomorrow, please plan for 1 hour. The reason is I don't like to leave the topic stranded. If I'm covering theory, I would want to complete that theory. If I'm covering practicals and I need to give you some lab work, then I might need 1.5 hour for that. So it depends. First week, definitely 1 hour is enough, because I would want you to go through some of the materials that I will share with you. And I would want to, ensure that in the first week, you start speaking EWM language. That will be the focus on the first week. And second week onwards, we will start the more into in-depth, like deep diving will start from the second week. So that's when some days 1 hour, some days 1.5 hour, if that's acceptable to you guys, right? Otherwise, I can do 1 hour also, but you won't enjoy it. We'll leave a topic stranded, and then we will come the next day, and you yourself won't enjoy it. You'll say, no, yeah, it's better, Jay, that we finish this topic, right? Any
Jay,
other question? Or we can do
Raja
weekend batch
here.
also. If it is, if it is okay with you too, we can do a weekend batch also.
What will be the timings?
That depends. What timings are okay with both of you, but depending on that.
See, because I am 2.5 hours lagging behind you, Indian time.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we
So I
can.
need to plan.
Yeah, we can plan that. That is not an issue. You guys can get in touch with Subbu, and we will plan that. That's not an issue. So we will have a timing which is suitable to both of you. Maybe we can have it in the morning, or we can. But morning will you're 2.5 hours lagging, right?
Yeah.
Or lead
Lagging.
lagging. Okay. So yeah, morning will be your afternoon, and you have to go to work as well, right? I presume.
Yeah. So I prefer generally in the morning.
Okay. So Sagar, what about you? You are in IST time zone?
Yeah, IST. So my shift time start from 12:30 afternoon. So morning
Afternoon.
time I am free. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So Raja, how do you want to go about it? Like, what is your timing, office timing?
My time is here 9 o'clock. That means 11:30 in India.
Okay.
So I prefer morning India
Morning 9.
time 5:30 also fine. IST. I mean, like for me 5:30, IST will be 8 o'clock something.
8 o'clock. Okay. Sagar, can you make that work? Sagar, you there?
Yes. No problem from
Okay.
my side. 8:30 is
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. So yeah, we can have 8 to 9 and at times 9:30, depending on the topic that we are going.
Okay.
Okay,
So
but
it will take
but
around 1 or 1.5 months, right? It will complete if we start.
Yes. Yes. But just a heads up, right? This is festival season. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any plans as such, but yeah, I next weekend I'm not available. So Monday, next week Monday I'm not available. But yeah, please expect 2 or 3 days off from my side because of the festive season. Like we have Diwali, we have the Shera going on. So I'll be upfront, right? I have 2 to 3 days of leaves planned out where I'm traveling with my
Okay.
family. So
Okay.
you can, for safer side, let's assume it's going to be 2 months. Okay, because
Okay.
and it depends, right? If you guys are practicing really hard, then you will get really good errors, right? You will get, at times you won't get errors, but you will get curious. You will ask me, what is that? What is this? So it depends on how hard you practice. If you are, I have seen folks lose interest over time. Like they'll be very good in the upfront 20 hours, but the moment we start advanced function, and because nobody is expecting them to know those advanced functions, they lose interest. They'll join someday, they won't join someday. So there is, there is a mix of everything that decides when our course is going to end. But from my side, yes, I need 35 hours, that is for sure, to cover everything. But if you guys get curious and if you ask me a couple of extra things, I'm not going to say no. I'll definitely cover it out for you. So in that case, yeah, maybe 3 or 4 sessions here and there.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Just
okay, yeah, Raj, yeah,
yeah,
continue.
carry on, carry on.
Oh no, you just
I
tell.
just want to know. Now, like, when can we start it? It's to you only. I'm asking.
Okay, so Sagar, can we start it next week or how is it?
Yeah, I'm free.
Okay, so we can start from next week, that is tomorrow. Okay,
Tomorrow
and
onwards, yeah.
yeah, tomorrow onwards, and it will take us couple of days to arrange the embedded system access for you. But the first 2 sessions will anyways be theory, where we will be covering a lot of EWM terminologies, like what is what. And Wednesday, we will start off with organization structure. I will do the organization structure in front of you, and I expect you guys to go home and do the lab work on it. Okay, so
Oh,
my plan would be to give you as much as lab work as possible on the weekends. So the first 2 sessions, Monday, Tuesday, we will cover theory, and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I will do practicals, and which I expect you guys to do it on weekends. Saturday, Sunday, we can keep off. You can do the lab work. Sometimes, if you want, we can have a placeholder where you are, if you are having any issues with respect to lab work, we can catch up and resolve them.
okay.
So lab work is something that I don't monitor. I expect you guys to be fair and complete on your own.
Okay,
Okay, but yeah,
Jay.
if you
The
have
one
doubt,
more thing is like I'll be traveling back to India on December 7th. I think by that time it can be done, right? If I come
yeah, yeah.
India, it will be difficult for me to catch up.
No, 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 it will be done before that
Yeah,
because it's 2 months from now, right?
yeah, yeah. December 7th, yeah, almost two.
Almost 2 months.
Yeah.
And Jay, one question. So right now, total I have 7 year of experience. So how can I, after this course, how can I arrange this experience like EWM?
So you have experience, which is good. Okay, you can portray
Hmm.
yourself as an EWM consultant.
Okay.
Okay, with
So,
with 7 years of plus 3.5 of EWM. So you can say you were taking care of both and EWM. So you can focus more on the inbound processes. Okay. See,
okay.
when it comes to EWM, there are different types of requirements in the market. Okay. If a company is production oriented, right, they would want EWM and they would want SDEWM, two separate consultants. If one guy does not know outbound process, it's fine. If one guy does not know inbound process, it's fine. Okay. If there is a company, small and medium enterprise, who is doing trading, right? They are buying and they are selling. They're not doing production. They want inbound, outbound both in one. So you have to portray yourself accordingly. Because you have a good amount of experience, my suggestion would be go for EWM consultant, right? Focus more
Okay.
in inbound. Like in inbound, if you want, I'll give you a lot of practice exercises. Learn on your own, right? And if you have doubts, I'm there. But even after our sessions are over, try to do more and more lab work. Become a very, very good inbound oriented uh, EWM consultant, and don't neglect outbound altogether. If questions are asked, you will be in a position to answer them, but you can portray yourself as an EWM consultant with more knowledge on inbound than on outbound. So you can focus on one part of EWM and move forward. For Raja, I would because you don't have experience, right? You are on which side?
Yes, EHS,
EHS side,
Environment,
right?
Health and Safety.
Environment, health and services. So I would expect you to go for overall EWM, where you know
Okay.
all the processes to level. Let's say there are 10 levels, level 1 to level 10. You know all the processes
Okay.
till level 7. That is what I expect. You can
Okay.
portray around 3 years to 3.5 years of experience.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
So,
fine.
Jay, yeah, Jay, one more question. So, currently you are working with the embedded system, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yep. Embedded
Because,
only. Like I have personally seen, I've only seen one decentralized. That was with a fashion industry. You would have heard the name H&M.
okay, okay, okay,
Okay. They are using decentralized because they have a lot of, and they are using decentralized only in Europe, not in India. In India, they don't do that good a business. They are very good in European market,
okay.
but all
Is it
majority
in
of the
Sweden?
companies are going for embedded only.
Okay,
So
okay.
you
Because
can
one of
see
my
out
friend
of seven.
also working,
Mhm.
yeah, my one friend is working in HCL, so he's working in decentralized. So he told me that decentralized is good for, and that's why I confused.
No, there is no see. There is no basic difference between the functionalities. The functionalities still
Okay,
remain the same. Like queue clearing, right? You can cross check with them even. The queue clearing which is there in embedded, it is going to be there in decentralized. The way you do the integration, like I told you, right? You create a dummy system and you link it with that. But in EWM, you in decentralized, you have an actual system. That's it. So there is no major difference between decentralized and embedded. And yeah, in interview, they will ask you that what have you worked on, embedded or decentralized? But that is more to understand whether you know all the deployment options or not. So even when I take interviews for my current organization, I am on the panel for EWM module guys. So I still see that people who have worked for 5 years, 6 years, they don't know the deployment options. They don't know what is going on currently in EWM market, and that is what is very important. Like once this session is over, it does not mean that you are going to become an expert of EWM. Okay, that is a wrong expectation. You will have to stay focused. You will have to stay current. How to stay current, I can show you. I can teach you. I can show you how to go through the simplification list, how to what are the different blogs that you should be reading, right? All those things you have to do even after the session is over, because I'm going to teach you whatever is new right now, whatever is new. But after some time, there will be something else which has come up,
okay.
right? And once
Yeah,
I'm done with the basic, right, whatever I want to teach you, I can share the links of lot of other advanced configurations which you can explore.
okay,
Okay. So what we do generally is we will give you a 3 months system access. Okay. So
okay,
2 months it will take for us our course to get completed, and on the third month, whatever we have covered till now, if you know that, you can start practicing advanced. See, there are so many different scenarios which are there. Okay. And all those scenarios nobody is going to teach you, obviously, right? Because there are so many scenarios which are there. Functionalities you
right,
will be knowing, but scenarios you have to practice. I can give you those scenarios and you have to practice, right? There are a lot of scenarios available on SAP, I mean on help.sap.com also, right? So scenarios is something that you have to practice. Now you might think that what are scenarios? Don't worry about it. We will cover. even when I teach you one scenario, I will give you practice scenarios, which will be different from what we have practiced. So what we have practiced, you have to do, but based on my experience, what all scenarios were there, that also you can go ahead and practice as your extra lab work. Right?
Yes, right.
Okay, Jay.
Okay. Any other question, guys?
And can you please share
Just
the
one.
recordings? Yeah.
So see, recordings and all, Subbu will take care of it. Okay. You
Okay.
guys are in touch with Subbu, or whom you are in touch with?
Subbu.
Yeah, I'm supposed.
Subbu only, right? Yeah. So recordings, sharing, system access, everything Subbu will take care. Okay. So system access, Subbu might want me to share it with you guys so that I can take it. But all this, all this extra admin related activities, right? All Subbu will be your single point of contact. I will help you out with anything related to SAP. Okay. So whatever you have doubts related to SAP, you can always come to me. But this admin activities like sharing the recording, sharing the deck, all those things will be taken care by Subbu. Okay. Is that fine?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So if there are no further
Okay.
questions, we can close the call.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, sure.
All
And
right.
tomorrow we are starting, right?
Yes, tomorrow we will start.
Like 8 o'clock IST.
8 o'clock IST. So I'll inform Subbu, but I also request you guys also to get in touch with Subbu, complete any admin related activities, if any, and
Okay.
I'll inform Subbu that we are planning to start from tomorrow. So if he is fine, we can start it off from tomorrow, else from Tuesday at max. But we will try
Okay.
to start as early as possible so that before I take leave next week Monday, I can give you some enough lab work before I head out.
Okay.
Okay. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for your time, and I will be
Yeah.
talking
Thank
to you. Have a nice day ahead, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.